with a bit of a mind flip.
You're into the time slip.
And nothing can ever be the same.
You're spaced out on sensation.
Like you're under sedation!
Hey, howdy, hey, Imagineers, people that like films and plays, Lego and other stuff. Wolfman47 Dash here. So this one's going to be a bit of everything. So I'm doing a review of a show that I've seen today. Today's date is the 4th of June, and I know this isn't the date that this upload will be on, but that's when I'm filming this. So make that clear. So I'm reviewing a show that I saw today. I'm doing a haul because I bought some stuff, and I'm also going to share some thoughts about two particular companies. But first, let's do the review. So today I went into London with friends to go see the Rocky Horror Show. Now, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of my all-time favourite films. In fact, it was actually the first time I actually saw anything to do with Rocky Horror, because I know it's a show, the film is based on the show that turned into the film. And one of the things I know about the show before going in to see it on stage in London at the Peacock Theatre was that it has a lot of audience participation, in particular when the narrator guy, who I think is a different character in the film, but anyway, comes on and basically improvises what he says. And, you know, now having seen the stage show and the film, I can now compare the two, and I can definitely say you get a bit more involved with the show than you can with the film. Obviously, the film and the show are for a particular kind of audience, because it's not the sort of thing that you'd want to see if you're not into like anything that's weird, wacky, flamboyant, over the top, crazy, sexual, and all that. So it is definitely for a particular kind of audience, the Rocky Horror stuff. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed the show. I get the audience participation part of it, something which you can't do in films. Unless it's one of those interactive films, but even then it's not quite the same. And the effects were good. I didn't particularly like some of the covers of the songs, if you get what I'm saying. Particularly "Hop to Bless My Soul," which Meatloaf sang in the film, and I think that version's a lot better. But the other covers of the songs are good. Everyone really got involved when there was the Time Warp song, as expected. And it was a great atmosphere. It was great to see everybody get involved and all that. And Sweet Transvestite too. Everybody got really involved in that, and yeah, we all had a good time with the show. Would I say which one would I say is the best? I have a soft spot for the film, and I always will have a soft spot for the film. But if you want, it's two slightly different experiences. The film, there's no audience participation whatsoever. You're just seeing the film for what it is, and sometimes you get the narrator and characters sort of directing the audience, talking to the audience, but it's not quite the same. Whereas with the stage show, they're talking to the audience most of the show, and yeah, all that stuff. So overall, I'd say make up your own mind. But for me personally, I think the stage show is the better one. But I do have a soft spot for the film because Tim Curry and Richard O'Brien. Obviously, Richard O'Brien, for those who don't know, is the guy who wrote Rocky Horror, and Tim Curry was the guy that played the original Dr. Frankenfurter, the main antagonist. Again, different audience for both. Well, actually, no, different. Or it's for a particular audience. Both versions are. So yeah, I give the show a 9 out of 10. It would have been a perfect 10 out of 10 had I liked the newer arrangements of the songs. And by new, I mean versions of the songs that are from the film, but a bit different here, sung a bit different here. But it's good. Definitely worth checking out. And the thing about Rocky Horror is it's not a show that's gonna go away anytime soon. It will be around for a very long time, whether it's at the Peacock Theatre in London or some other place. You'll still be able to watch it wherever you go. So yeah. Okay, so that's the review over. Next, let's talk about Disney and Warner Brothers. So this year marks the 100-year anniversary of both major studios, or the centenary if you prefer to use the technical term. And for as long as I've known the two studios, they are my two favourite studios out of all the studios that are out there, in particular the major studios, because I have sort of noticed in myself that there are a lot more Disney and Warner Brothers film, and I enjoy more Disney and Warner Brothers films than I do with the likes of Sony, Universal, and the others. If you ever go on my blog and see my top 100 all-time favorite films, you'll notice that there is a lot of Warner Brothers and Disney stuff on there more than the other studios. But I do like the Universal and Sony stuff too, and whatever the fifth one is, I forget. Yeah. And I know both companies haven't done too well recently, with Disney struggling after the success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the Super Mario movie, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, all from competing studios, and all really good films. They have done well with the Disney Plus offerings, like especially Star Wars, which has done particularly well. And both companies are kind of on par with one another in terms of what sort of things they own. So for Disney, they own Pixar, which are the first animation studio to actually use CGI for a full. Were the first were the first animation studio to make a full featured CGI film, all CGI film with Toy Story, and continue to keep building upon and improving the technology that they bring into their films. They also have Lucasfilm, otherwise known as the company that George Lucas ran for a while and is known for Indiana Jones, Star Wars, the Monkey Island video games, and other stuff. They also made Howard the Duck as well. The film, not the character, I should say. And they also have Marvel. Don't think I need to tell you guys what Marvel is, but if you've been living under a rock for the past 10 years, Marvel is a comic book company known for the characters of Deadpool, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, and the superhero teams, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and a villainous team, the Sinister Six. And Disney owned the entertainment part of that, so mainly the Marvel Cinematic Universe franchise and its films and TV shows and so forth, and other stuff Marvel do. And of course, they also own the two major studios they bought from the Fox Corporation, which are nowadays known as 20th Century Studios and Searchlight Pictures. Which is also known as the companies responsible for The Simpsons, Futurama, Ice Age, the X-Men films, the Deadpool films, the three sort of Fantastic Four films, the two Daredevil, the two films associated with Daredevil, and a lot of great stuff, but also not so great stuff. And I'm sure I'm missing another one out. They also have the Sports Network, Epson, National Geographic, and others. So that's Disney. So parts are not doing too well with the animation side and live action remakes, which they keep doing non-stop. But the theme parks are still around, the cruise lines are still going, and people still enjoy the original films that they've done. So there is that. Warner Brothers. most of you know who Warner Brothers are. They're the company responsible for for stuff from DC Comics, which they own. They've also done work with New Line Cinema, which they also own. They are frequent collaborators with Legendary Pictures, Village Roadshow Productions, and MGM, who they don't own per se, but they do have sort of deals with some various deals with them. Like Legendary Pictures, for example, was one of their major production companies for a lot of their major films until recently, where they've only just focused on the MonsterVerse films, which is where they've done the Godzilla and King Kong films. MGM, of course, they've done quite a few stuff with them, so they now own the rights to a lot of MGM's things like Tom and Jerry, Wizard of Oz, and some other stuff. What else? There was another one I mentioned. Oh yeah, Village Roadshow Pictures. Are quite one of their regular collaborators who have helped them with the Matrix films, and at least one of the Mad Max films. And they've and as I said, they own DC Comics, Marvel's major competitor, who are the people behind the likes of Superman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Joker, Harley Quinn, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, the Anti-Monitor, and for those of you and for the superhero and supervillain teams, there's the Legion of Doom, the Suicide Squad, the Justice League and their various iterations, the Teen Titans, and many others. And Warner Brothers themselves haven't been doing too well, particularly with some of them with the franchise that they're trying to keep going. Like DC's getting a soft reboot. Wizarding World is going in a completely different direction. For those who don't know what Wizarding World is, that used to be there was the franchise that used to be known as Harry Potter, but is nowadays known as the Wizarding World because of the Fantastic Beasts films and the expansion of the franchise with things like Hogwarts Legacy and other stuff. And also they have been making a few questionable decisions, in particular when they started merging with the company Discovery, who do documentaries and reality shows and so forth. So yeah. And that leads me on to the haul that I've done, because for a while I've kind of not bothered buying anything that's that are to do with the two companies, because on the one hand I'm not sure what I'd actually want to do to celebrate the two companies, because despite their hardships recently, they are still major companies that have done a lot of great stuff over the years, just not as good stuff as they have done in previous years. So let's start with Warner Brothers, the thing I bought from Warner Brothers, which is this. So this is actually a Blu-ray set that you can buy in the States, and there's 4 of them. Unfortunately, here in the UK, we don't have those 4 sets, at least as far as I know. And what they contain are 4K versions of the various films that Warner Brothers have released over the years.
Objection!
Myself talking. But I seem to have been misled. It's actually Blu-ray discs that are in the set, not 4K. But that's okay, because they should still work on my device. So I'm going to boot up my PS5 and see if they indeed work. I'll just do one for now and then go from there, see what happens. Yes, I do own a PS5 and an Xbox Series S, because I was able to have enough money to buy both. Unfortunately, I ended up spending a bit more than I wanted on the PS5, but hey, it is what it is. Right, I'll just log into my PS5 account. Again, try again. Right, one sec. Alright, let's see if this works. No, I don't want to play that. So it's recognised it. Will you play it? Yep, looks like it's playing. So, yay. That's good. Alright, enough showing off that. Back to the video. Now, a lot of YouTubers will say that the recent collector's editions of Warner Brothers stuff have not been all that brilliant because Warner Brothers have this issue where they think people just want the films and that's it, no bonus features or whatever. But any real collector will know that we actually do want more than just the films. So, the different versions of the films, so, extended editions, director's cuts and all that. All the bonus features, so things like what's been going on behind the scenes, some deleted stuff, some gag reels, commentaries, documentaries, all that stuff. And that's the thing that they've really sort of not been paying too much attention on, because they release all these collector's editions, all well and good, yada yada yada, but then they just miss out those bits. And that's the reason why so many people have been not too happy with the more recent collector version, the so-called collector versions of the Harry Potter film saga and the Middle-earth film saga, because Middle-earth is, of course, a franchise that has had six films, all with their own extended editions and their own appendixes, which is the technical term for bonus features for that franchise. And they've missed those out. Now, unlike most people on YouTube that are collectors, I tend to go for like sets like these only because there's like films I'm actually not that bothered about not having all the stuff for. So there's a lot of Stanley Kubrick films that, as much as I love, I don't think I'd want to keep extended versions because, no offense to the guy in question, but the extended versions can offer just not really much dialogue or anything. Don't get me wrong, he is a master of what he does, and his films are brilliant, despite all the hardships that people go through when they ever work with him. But these extended editions can be quite, don't want to sugarcoat it, can be a bit boring. Like, they just don't really add anything new to the film apart from some more shots and not so much dialogue or anything, and that's just my opinion on it. And this collector's edition, which is the volume 3, which contains films from fantasy, action, and adventure genres, they're all films that I don't really mind not having the bonus features of, especially because there's things like the Richard Donner director's cut of the Superman film, which is quite hard to find here in the UK. Trying to get it anywhere is kind of a challenge for me. It's just the way it is. So in this set we've got that film in question, Superman, but the original version, not the new one. The Neverending Story, which is a good film. Not quite never ending because it does have an ending, and for some reason it's got sequels, but that is what it is. The Supergirl film, don't know why that's in there. I've seen it, it's not that good. Lethal Weapon, never seen any of the Lethal Weapon films, but I've heard they're good. They're the sort of action films from Mel Gibson and established him as an actor. Of course, he's a bit controversial these days, but he was good. He was good as an actor once upon a time, back in the day. Batman, the 1989 Batman, a great Batman film, starring Michael Keaton, who of course is reprising his role in the Flash film, which at the time of recording is not out yet, but will be out very soon. Next we've got Twister. I have seen Twister, and from what I remember of it, because it was quite a long time ago, it's about a tornado or some scientists trying to stop a tornado or two, I think. Not quite as silly as Sharknado, but it is what it is. Harry Potter, the first one. In the States it's known as the Sorcerer's Stone, but here in the UK and pretty much the rest of the world, well, apart from some areas aside from America, it's called the Philosopher's Stone, probably for marketing reasons or something, because I'm not really sure how much we all know about philosophers and sorcerers, and not really sure about the difference, but it is what it is. Ocean's 11, I have seen like bits of Ocean's 11, but I've not seen it all the way through, and I am looking forward to watching that. Lord of the Rings, the first one, Fellowship of the Ring. So this is not the extended cut. This is the theatrical cut. I do actually have the extended cut on Blu-ray here, and it's good. I've never had a problem with the extended cuts of the Middle Earth films because they feel like they're more complete and make more sense. It's only an issue for the Hobbit films because Hobbit is just one book. It didn't need to have like however many hours it was, like 9-10 hours of films, but it's what it is. Yeah. Constantine, a film starring Keanu Reeves, I believe. I've seen this once, don't really remember much from it, but it did spawn a one season show that ended up being part of the Arrowverse, which was okay, not brilliant, but okay. V for Vendetta. This was kind of the film that started that anonymous craze. A really good film starring Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman. Pan's Labyrinth, another great film. I believe this one is one of the Jim Henson films or something. No, not Jim Henson. Is it Jim Henson? I'll need to check that in a 300, a film about Leonidas fighting leading his Spartans into battle, yada yada yada. This is Sparta and all that stuff. The first, I believe that's the film that made Zack Snyder popular, and he started his collaborations with Warner Brothers after that. I don't think he does really much collaborations with them these days because of how they treated his version of Justice League. But yeah, it is what it is. The Dark Knight, another fantastic Batman film. Definitely the best one of the Dark Knight trilogy, starring the late Heath Ledger as, you guessed it, Joker. Great film. Man of Steel, which is basically Superman 1 and 2 combined. It's basically a remake of Superman 1 and 2, but merged into one film, with everything, all the cast change and all that. And this was originally meant to be just one film and then left alone, but Warner Brothers, after the success of it, decided, you know what, we're going to launch a cinematic universe with it. And they even sort of hinted towards that in the film, but they never really went through with it until a few years later when they decided to do Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So yeah. Mad Max Fury Road. I mentioned Mad Max earlier, and I think this was the one that they did with Village Roadshow Pictures. And it's a good film. Definitely, it was definitely ahead of its time, but great visuals and everything. Fantastic Beasts: Somewhere to Find Them, the first of the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, and probably the only one that people actually liked and made sense because it was just a nice sort of spin-off to Harry Potter. They could have gone a completely different direction with and did other films besides that, but they ended up doing more Fantastic Beasts films, and yeah, we know how those played out. What else? Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, featuring Gal Gadot as the titular character, and that was a good DC film. It was actually the first time I thought the DC Extended Universe had a good film, and I hope and apart from having that misfire with the Justice League film, they did really well after that. You know, having lots of hits after that with Aquaman, Shazam, and then the later version of the Suicide Squad. Not too well with the sequel to Wonder Woman, but it is what it is. What else? Speaking of Justice League, this is in there too. Justice League, more like. Oh, but Aquaman and Shazam are both in there, both good films. The Joker, which is the Joker film, which is set in its own universe, another great film. One of Joaquin Phoenix's good roles, because he's the sort of actor that plays sort of demented and sort of unconventional characters. If you want to know what I mean by that, watch Beau is Afraid, because that was a pretty messed up film. Birds of Prey and a Fantabulous Incantation of One Harley Quinn. Yep, another good one, and definitely a better Harley Quinn film than the first Suicide Squad. And speaking of which, the Suicide Squad, the third film of the Harley Quinn trilogy, is in this set as well, as is Black Adam. which I thought was okay, but was a bit. I did have a kind of a headache from it. Right, so enough about that. Let's open this up and see what we get. Now I've heard that the that 4K Blu-rays will work on regular Blu-ray players, but they'll just go to like the source up to full HD and not any further, and that they're all region free. There's no like limits to how much you can do, but I will be the judge of that a bit later on. I'm not going to film the I might film the bit where I play one of the films on TV, but we'll get to that. Oh, you dropped there. But we'll get to that in a bit. So here it is again, this time without the card thing. I forget what the card thing's called. And oh, here's what's inside. A book. And the book has the films. All the films in all their glory. I'm planning to get like the 3 other volumes of the collector's sets, because I've had no intention of buying the ones that are going to be released here in the UK, because they're not that brilliant in my personal opinion. So little booklet here, which has sort of arts and so forth from the films. What else we got? Now, unfortunately, this digital code is not going to work here, because we don't do digital copies anymore. If anyone wants to grab this, it's a first come first serve sort of thing. Leave a comment below if you want to nab this. It won't work here in the UK, so you'll have it's available only in the US according to this. So if you want it, leave a comment below. If you're an American citizen and you want to have these great and not so great films in your digital collection. And and then there's one more thing. Just check if there's any others. No. Bin badges of the Warner Brothers logos. You can see the shiny one there, but this other one you can't see very well. Sorry about the lighting, but yeah, that's that set. So I'll put that aside. We'll move on to the Disney one. So as many LEGO fans will know, LEGO like to release a series of collectible minifigures, and they've done a few for Disney, and this is like the 100th anniversary figures. And I bought like 6 of them from a little supermarket called Tesco, which we got in the UK. There's a lot of them. It feels like they're taking over the world half the time, but yeah. And I was able to afford these because the day before I bought them, I actually won at this thing called Rock and Roll Bingo, which is good fun, and I won £42 from that. So I used that money to buy these. So I had no idea what figures we're going to have, so let's crack them open and build them. Alright, so the first one I've got, which I'll reveal in just a moment, looks like, and it probably is, little Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, one of the early iterations of the Disney princess, and it's got a special Disney 100 Lego plaque there, so that's pretty cool. So that's that one. I'll show you the booklet as well while we're at it. Oh, maybe not, because I've just ripped it open. Oh, God. Oh dear. Yeah, not done too well there. No, I'll just show you the next one. Yeah. Okay, so bag number 2. And this one, what's I've got? Let's got stuff out. Oh, got a tail. Okay. Oh no, not a tail, sorry. A head. Oh, this looks like that character from the game Epic Mickey, which I believe... Yes, it is. It is him, actually. Yeah, and here is one of the first mascots for Disney, but then sort of spun into another company, and then Disney kept trying to buy the rights back and so forth. But anyway, Oswald the Rabbit. There we go. So that's the second one. Now, hopefully I can make a better attempt at getting the booklet up. There we go. Much better. Didn't screw up this time. There you go. There's all the figures. And usually what happens is they leave stuff at the back so that if you get one of those figures that's a bit complicated to build, you got instructions to build those. On to pack number 3. Ah, now this one, this looks like Baymax from Big Hero 6. You know, Big Hero 6 was a pretty good film, I have to say. Never really had much issue with it. And I'm glad that of all these sort of forgettable animated films, Disney decided, you know what, we're going to give this film a chance and just go ahead with it and so forth. But yeah, right, I'm going to build him. And then I'll show you what he looks like. Well, obviously you guys know what he looks like, but you probably haven't seen the Lego version yet, so I'll show you that when I've found the pieces. They keep falling. Oh dear. Ugh. Oh, right. Try again. One there. One there. Go on there. You go there. Oh, and he's got his own arms. There you go. Baymax. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your figure? I'm going to say 10 because I quite enjoyed building that little one there. Right, so that was number 3. So far I've had 3 different figures, so off to a good start. Might get a duplicate, but who knows. Yeah, it's another different figure. I think I know this one too. Let's build her up anyway. She will bring honour to us all, no doubt, but she will make a man out of you. It's Mulan and her little cricket friend, which you probably can't see very well because of the lighting here. But yeah, that's Mulan. One of the Disney princesses that actually was independent and did her own thing rather than just be a damsel in distress doing stuff. I will say that I do prefer the Disney princesses that actually do more than just be a simple damsel in distress. They actually just do a bit more, like build war work and so forth. Yeah. Right, next one. And once again, it's another different one. And it's a Disney villain as well. Let's check if I can jot any pieces. I don't think I have. Right. Now to make you. Oh, where's the... Oh, there it is. Right. Well, this guy is a Disney villain for sure, and he's got friends on the other side. It's Dr. Felicia from Princess and the Frog. Oh dear. That's still not good. Yeah, probably can't see that very well. It's fine. You can go online and find out these figures for yourself. Right, one more to go. So far, I will say I'm actually liking that. I've got so far 5 different figures. Let's see if that continues with the 6th one. The 6th and final one, I should say. And it does! Oh, we got another bag though. Oh dear. One sec. And the other thing for this one. Oh, there it is. Right. So this one's another Disney villain. Or probably the first time a Disney villain came out before, just after Walt Disney passed away. The legend that he was. Right. So you go there. You go there. You might want to keep your puppies away, your Dalmatian puppies away from this one, because it's Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. There she is with a puppy. Oh dear. Better make sure that's kept away from her. Right, that's all the Disney stuff. Now, one more thing, and then I'll let you guys go. Thank you for sticking with me so far. Now, in Scotland, there is a beverage called Irn-Bru. It's quite famously known to be made there. And today in my travels, I went to an off-licensed newsagent and bought this. It is an ice cream flavoured Irn-Bru Extra. Now, Irn-Bru Extra is the sugar-free version of Irn-Bru, but adds a bit more taste to it. So it's like, Coke Zero and Pepsi Max, in which it's trying to replicate the taste of the full strength sugar, full of sugar Coke and Pepsi, but without the sugar, basically, and a bit more taste. So I'm going to give this a try and see what it's like. And also because my throat's getting a bit dry from the chan. Yeah, that's a good taste. I can taste the ice cream in that. If you ever want to try Irn-Bru yourself, I should warn you, it's a bit of an acquired taste. Good taste though, but acquired all the same. Okay, that's the end. That will be it for this video. So thank you for watching and sticking with me for nearly 40 minutes. Please, if you like the video, you know what to do. Give it a like. If you want to say what you think about the items or whatever else, you know what to do. Leave them in the comments. And if you want to see more of my videos, again, you should know what to do by now. Subscribe. Now, I have reached 69 subscribers since doing this. By the time I've done this video, I have. What I'm trying to say. So I've now reached 69 subscribers, and unless I've already uploaded it already, there is a 69 subscriber special on the way, or has been up, which is a not safe for work thing, but it is sort of connected to the whole idea of 69 being to do with sex. And one day I'm hoping to reach my next milestone, which is 75 subscribers, and then I'll do something special for that. Not quite as not safe for work, but yeah. So thank you so much for watching. If you do want to subscribe, I do gameplay videos and more of these vlogs where I do hauls, unboxings, and or talk about different topics. And today I've pretty much done everything, all of those things, apart from the unboxing, and also done my first taste of a drink or something. So maybe I'll do more later down the line. But yeah, nearly at 40 minutes now. So thank you again for watching. And if you want to stick around, please do. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.